So, guess where I am. Not the update I thought I would be giving. Today is, of course, day 66, post-op from my mini gastric bypass surgery that I had on the 14th of February. Now, you may notice something different. Does anyone notice anything different? Yes, we still have the background of the hospital, but there is something different here. So I may have had a little bit of premature communication this morning. A little bit of premature communication. I'm still in hospital. But yes, Nikki, you're onto it. No nasal tube. So, Marie may have got her grumpy pants on this morning. Marie may have thrown her toys out of the cot a little bit. Marie may have demanded that the nasal tube come out and that she was going home today. Marie may have had enough of the last week of her life. So, as it stood this morning, they were talking about still discharging me tomorrow. This was there. Marie totally hit the wall. And she put a whole lot of doctors and nurses between her and that wall. They were still talking about discharging me tomorrow. The plan was to discharge me with the feeding tube in. Obviously, I had been signed off as knowing how to use the feeding system. I had been taught how to set it all up, do all the flushes, do all of that stuff. And the intention was that I would need to leave that feeding tube in. Their best guess was between 2 and 6 weeks, until such time as I was eating and drinking sufficient to nourish my body without it, at which time they would then take it out. Now, for a few days now, they've been pushing me to try and start drinking and to try and start eating. They've been giving me yogurts, things like that, to really get that process started. But what was happening was my throat was so irritated and sore from that tube that swallowing was just unbearable. So I literally wasn't drinking or eating a thing. So what was happening was they would take the IV fluids away, obviously still putting the feed through the nasal tube, and they would be like, come on, drink, you've got to get your hydration up, drink, drink, drink. I would become dehydrated. They would have to hook me back up to the IV fluids, and so we would start again. So I kind of threw my toys a little bit, and I said, look, I understand that you're sending me home tomorrow. I understand the mission. I understand what needs to happen, but I can tell you right now it's not going to happen while I have this nasal tube in. I can't. My body will not allow me to eat or drink while I've got this tube in. I do take antidepressant, anti-anxiety meds. I was choking on those most nights, just trying to get those down alongside the tubes. So I just said to them, look, you're going to have to take the tube out. I'm either going to have to stay on the tube and IV fluids forever, which is not an option because I want to go home and see my baby, or you're going to have to take the tube out and you're just going to have to let me eat and drink. So I was kind of pushing very heavily whilst hitting the wall towards them taking the tube out this morning and sending me home there and then. A compromise may have been reached whereby the nasal tube came out, and they basically, this is my chance to prove to them that I am able to eat and drink before they will discharge me. So we agreed to 3 meals. So we did lunch and dinner, and that makes breakfast tomorrow. And as long as I keep those down and get my fluids in, they will discharge me. The relief when I got that nasal tube out was actually immediate. So when the nasal tube was put down, I was sedated. So I was completely sedated because they also put a camera down at the same point and checked the ulcer and made sure I had no strictures and stuff like that. So I really didn't know what to expect. I did learn this morning that actually my nasal tube was a lot longer than most people's is. Reason being, I thought it stopped in my stomach pouch, but it actually went past my stomach pouch and into my middle intestines. Reason being was to completely rest the stomach pouch to allow that ulcer to fully heal. So it actually went past the stomach, it kept going through. And I was looking on it this morning actually, and I noticed there were little measurements on it, and I checked with the nurse, and she's like, yeah, that's how long it is. So at about this point, so it was about that far away from my face, the first measurement I could read was 1.5 meters, 150. So literally into that word, Nikki knows, that word, Judium, I've heard that word. So I literally just had to lie down, take a big deep breath in, and then as I took a deep breath out, the nurse was just going like hand over hand, just pulling it, and she's like, it's still coming, you're doing good, it's still coming. 1.5 meters. So that came out this morning, which, like I say, instant relief, just instant relief. So I am about that far away from getting 1.5 litres into me. I have had lunch and dinner, pretty hardcore nausea, hit with both of those, but just a bit of a walk around the room for 5 minutes and it passed. I am still taking anti-nausea medication. We've just moved from doing it IV through to doing medication, like oral pills. Again, just proving the point that once they sent me home tomorrow, whether they like it or not, that I will be able to cope, basically, with whatever they send me home with. So yes, we are here for our final night. We are. We definitely are. Which just leaves me one big task for tomorrow, which is scaring the she-is out of me, and that is removing this. So if I just pull this bandage up again to show you what it is, this is the PICC line they put in. Now, from people I've spoken to today, very uncommon for a PICC line to be put in for only a matter of 5 days. That's all I've had this in for. Generally speaking, when a PICC line is put in, it's there for up to a year. I've actually learned it can stay there. It's for an ongoing thing. But of course, my veins are very difficult to find at the best of times. Plus, when I presented to hospital, I was very dehydrated. Plus, because of how busy they were and everything that was happening here, and a couple of maybe miscommunications when I was first admitted, I went 6 hours nil by mouth when getting here before they even tried to put a line in. So I was dehydrated anyway, and then added another 6 hours to it. So they had to go for the PICC, which was done under ultrasound and x-ray. So where that orange bit is there, they put a wire into my arm, into one of the big veins in my arm, and then under x-ray fed it right through, right down here, and stopped just a few centimeters above the heart. They then fed 2 little tubes in, and then each tube has that little connection thing on the end. Now that orange thing has actually got claws, I'm led to believe, that go up under the skin to hold it in place. Of course, very important that it doesn't move. With it being that close to your heart, you cannot afford for it to move. But so that goes directly into the artery. That allows them to not only put medications directly into the artery, into the bloodstream, but also take blood from me without having to get a needle in. So that there was put in. I had local anesthetic put into my arm when they did that, and still when they went to push the tubes in, I swear I felt it bursting into my veins, so much so that I jumped off the table, and the poor radiographer guy had to hold my shoulders and hold me down. And I have now learnt that you get no pain relief to get this out. They literally just pull it. You take a few deep breaths and they pull it. So that's something to look forward to tomorrow. I swear, it just, you feel like it's 2 steps forward and then there's a giant leap backwards. So that will be coming out tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to it. I will be definitely having some diazepam or something before we attack that one. But really, getting breakfast in and getting that out is my last hurdle before I can go home and see my baby, who I haven't seen in a week. So yes, Jess, my tube is out. Watch the start of the video, you'll see it all, but Marie kind of threw a little bit of a tantrum. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It'll be fine. So yes, all going well. This will be my last night here. Then I can head home. I have got an appointment with a dietitian at my weight loss surgery clinic on Tuesday. Of course, it's a long weekend. When I went in to see my surgeon, probably, what was that, a fortnight ago now, and made a bit of a complaint about the way that I have been treated, he did pull rank and allow me to change change dietitians. So Tuesday I will be meeting my new dietitian for the first time, which will be fantastic. So my instructions between now and then are 3 meals a day plus a protein shake. As long as I can keep that up until Tuesday, then I should be pretty good, pretty strong. That's the plan at this stage anyway. So yeah, one last night in this place and then I get to go home. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Judy, so you say that. You say it shouldn't hurt to come out, but that's not what the nurses that have done this before are telling me. Kind of wish they hadn't. Apparently the bit that'll hurt is not the wire, the tubey bits coming out. That's the orange bit coming out where the claws go under my skin. I don't know. I guess we'll find that out tomorrow. Come take mine out, Judy. Are you working? So yes, tomorrow is home time. Thank you so much to everybody that has been commenting on my videos, that has been sending me messages. Tell them to pivot. Doing all of that stuff while I've been in here. I really appreciate it. And a special shout out, like an amazing special shout out to one of our followers, Brent. He is actually, as it turns out, an orderly here at the hospital. So he flicked me a message and found out what room I was, and every time he was passing in the hallway, he's just run in and made me laugh and done something ridiculously stupid until his little walkie-talkie went with people wanting to know where he was, and then he would sneak out and be gone again. So massive shout out, thank you so much. Seeing a face I knew and someone making me laugh, it was totally worth it. So thank you. And yes, so good to have the nose tube out, Judy. Mum may not have been impressed. She may have told me off for throwing my toys out of the cot and demanding it being out, but I'm a strong, independent woman. My mum doesn't know everything. Just don't tell her I said that. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go. Gonna get my last night's sleep here. I'm going home tomorrow whether they like it or not.